Hi, this is Lin Bridgeford. I'm here in Crete to do yoga and have fun. And I wanted to share a little bit with you about the healing power of the yoga and how it ties in beautifully with osteopathy. So the thing about the Ashtanga is it's all about the breath, and there's a sequence, and we're moving with the breath, and there's something about the sequence that's the whole is more than the sum of the parts, so there's some special healing thing in the sequence. So it's a very ancient sequence, and what seems to happen is that when you do the practice for a while, and it's a way of listening to your body because you're breathing, you're moving, you're holding locks, and what happens is it starts to heal. The breath is healing, the movement is healing, and sometimes a healing process is to bring out an old injury. So sometimes you might find that your knee hurts, but you had a knee problem years ago. So rather than beating it up, you treat it gently, you take it through the healing process, and it's very powerful. And yoga can do a lot of healing. I don't believe that one thing is enough. So I really like the combination of having my students come for osteopathy and having my patients come for yoga, because then you get the combination of I get to see them in movement if they're patients, and if they're yogis, I get to see the inside of what's going on in their body from seeing them move. So I had a lady come to me once who was a seasoned yogi, and she had gone into a complete meltdown. It was as though her body had just had a big accident, and she had a big accident about 10 years before that. So rather than trying as an osteopath to fix each individual thing, which would have had me running all over the place, I linked in with her, knowing her yoga, and linked in because it came up in her history from the accident, and worked with her nervous system to connect her to her midline. Our midline is really important. That's how we started. Midline is our neurological center. So when we're connected with that, everything knows more where it should be. I know it may sound a bit poetic, but that's what we look at in osteopathy, that midline connection. So if somebody's all over the place, the first thing I do is bring them back to the midline connection. It's like their origins. So when I worked with this lady and connected her back to her midline, all these problems resolved. There was things going on with her face, with her wrist, with her hands, and just by simply recognizing and acknowledging to her body that this was a past thing and working with her, by the end of the session she was kind of back to normal, and then could go back to yoga and work with things as she had been before that. Now, it's not always quite that simple. Sometimes an old injury comes up and it's never been healed properly in the first place, and we need to do some more work with it as though it's current, because it is in the present moment. We don't want to injure ourselves in yoga, and the breathing keeps us safe. If we're moving with the breath, we open the body on an inhale, we close the body on the exhale. So if we're moving a leg, we bend it on the exhale. We're listening to the joints, so we're keeping ourselves safe. That keeps us safe. The only time I injured myself was when I was talking to my mother, and I was in a pose called Garbha Pindasana, embryo in the mother's womb, and I strained something very, very minorly because I wasn't focusing on what I was doing. So it's really important to breathe and focus on what we're doing. And if something comes up as an injury, an old injury or healing, we work with it. It's good to get treatment as well. And then we can get back into the yoga in a better way, because that injury's been there for a long time. So it will take us further in our practice. And further doesn't mean it's better to do flick-flacks, tic-tacs, handstands. Where it's important to be is where you are and a little bit further. So by breathing and being in the present moment, that's where our power is. It's not how far we go. And the going further is actually being more connected to the breath, more connected to ourselves and what we are capable of, relaxing into that and accepting ourselves. And then we can go further and we can do more, because we allow it, because the body just wants to be well. The body's always looking to be well, to be healthy. We want to be strong and flexible. We want to be able to, if we're older, to live up our grandchildren. We want to be able to do yoga all of our life so that we're fit for life. So that's the beauty of the yoga and the osteopathy. And where I like to take patients into yoga is a lot of people don't exercise well enough. So by getting them into the yoga gently, getting them to breathe, I may start giving people a few exercises to help their condition, and then gradually see if we can get them in a class where they take their own practice and take their health and their fitness and their strength and flexibility into their own hands with careful guidance. I'm very blessed that I love what I do, and I'm very blessed to be able to help people feel better in their bodies, in their lives, in their hearts and in their minds. So if you live in the south of England and you would like to have a treatment or come to one of my yoga classes or just have a chat with me about it, please link in the comments below, email me, and we can see what we can do together. And from this wonderful island of Crete, thank you so much for watching, and please like, subscribe, share, make any comments, tell me what you'd like to hear. I'm happy to make any videos you'd like to see, and anything you'd like to hear about, just ask. Thank you so much.